want to be a giant, poofy bodybuilder who can't scratch his own neck? What's going on, guys? So in this video, we're going to be talking about 3 reasons why so many people think you can't build strength and muscle using kettlebells. And we're going to debunk those reasons. I'm going to tell you what they think. I'm going to tell you why they think that. And most importantly, I'm going to tell you why I think they're wrong. Because you absolutely can build a ton of strength and a ton of muscle using just kettlebells. And don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. Now, real quick, before we get started, if you're looking for kettlebell workouts that are going to help you gain functional strength, conditioning, and mobility, and do all of those things in a time-efficient manner, then go ahead and click the link below this video and claim your 7 days of free kettlebell workouts today. So the number one reason so many people think they can't build strength or muscle using kettlebells is that somebody else just told them. And they never really thought twice about it and just went with that forever. There are so many people that say that you can't build strength and muscle using kettlebells that don't fully understand how the body works, you know? They heard it from their favorite bodybuilder influencer who's preaching about building as much muscle as possible. And they said you can't build muscle using strength or muscle or strength using kettlebells. So then that person just went ahead and believed it. Now, that bodybuilder that's saying that, I understand what they are saying. Kettlebells are definitely not the most efficient way to build muscle. If you want to look like Larry Wheels or Sam Sulek and you want to be a giant, poofy bodybuilder who can't scratch his own neck, then yeah, by all means, kettlebells are not going to be your thing. You got to go hit dumbbells and machines and some barbells and things along those lines and do that route. But if that's not your route and you're looking to be a little bit more well-rounded, like kettlebells absolutely will build strength and will build muscle for you. Anybody that understands how building muscle works and how the human body works and how tension works, then they can tell you absolutely 100% that you can build muscle and strength using kettlebells. At the end of the day, a weight is a weight. Just because it's shaped like a little cannonball with a handle and not a dumbbell or a barbell doesn't mean that you can't build strength. It just means that it's going to be a little different. And it doesn't mean that you can't build muscle. Again, it just might not be the most efficient way, right? I think social media and the internet gets really caught up with that, thinking that the most efficient, most optimal way means every other way is impossible. No, it just might not be as efficient or the most efficient. So again, if you're looking to just be giant and be the strongest, biggest human being on the planet, then no, kettlebells probably aren't the best thing for you. But again, you can 100% build strength and muscle using them. Because at the end of the day, we just need tension, we need strain on the muscles, and a kettlebell is absolutely going to do that. It doesn't change that just because the way that it is shaped. The number 2 reason people think you can't build strength or muscle using kettlebells is because you use momentum when you use them. There's a very big difference between using momentum, doing an isolation exercise like a bicep curl, and using momentum when you're doing something like a kettlebell swing. When you're using momentum in an isolation exercise like a bicep curl, the idea is to just feel that one muscle and get as much tension in that one muscle as possible. So yeah, if we're swinging and using our shoulders and our hips and our back, then yeah, definitely not ideal. But that concept doesn't necessarily translate into every single exercise that exists. But a really heavy kettlebell swing is going to be completely different. Again, like I was saying before, at the end of the day, all you need to build strength and muscle is tension. So if you're doing a swinging and momentum-based bicep curl, there's not really going to be that much tension anywhere. If you are swinging a 106-pound kettlebell, I can promise you there's going to be a whole lot of tension in a whole lot of places in your body, from your traps to your fingers, your hands, your forearms, biceps, shoulders, upper back, lats, lower back, glutes, hamstrings, quads, hips, everything. There's going to be tension everywhere. And when you have that much tension going throughout the body, it's basically impossible to not build strength and not build muscle. Again, like I said before, the most efficient way? No. The most efficient way to build muscle is those isolations and being really slow and controlled and getting as much tension as you possibly can. But when you're doing something like a kettlebell swing, which is a power-based exercise, the main goal is not to build strength and muscle. But again, that doesn't mean it's not possible. And I promise you, you swing 100, 120, 140-pound kettlebell all day long, you're going to get pretty freaking strong. So again, if you're looking to be a giant poofy bodybuilder, no, we got to cut out all of that momentum with our isolation exercises. But an exercise like a kettlebell swing is going to be different. Yes, there is momentum. It is controlled momentum, but there is still a ton of tension in so many different areas in the body. I promise you, if you don't believe me, go grab a 100-pound kettlebell and swing it and tell me everything is not fired up. Leaf blowers going on outside. Had to shut the garage and change things up just a little bit. So the third reason that so many people think you can't build strength and or muscle using kettlebells technically has nothing to do with kettlebells. And I don't think most people realize this. And the reason is going to be that most people don't have access to heavy enough kettlebells, unfortunately. At the end of the day, if you're a 210-pound guy who can deadlift 450 pounds, and the heaviest kettlebell you have access to is some 35-pound kettlebell tucked away in the corner of your LA Fitness gym with the 2 other kettlebells that they have, then yes, that kettlebell is probably not going to let you build strength or muscle. But that has nothing to do with kettlebells. It has to do with the fact that your gym probably has a shitty kettlebell section that looks like my 3-month-old nephew's toy section, and there's 48 treadmills that'll cost $5,000 a piece in there. But again, I digress. That has nothing to do with kettlebells. That has to do with the kettlebells that you have access to. Like I was saying before, go ahead and grab an 80, 88, 97-pound kettlebell. Start doing some swings, rows, clean and presses with that bad boy all day long, and tell me you're not getting stronger and tell me you're not building muscle. Now, I get it. Unfortunately, that is what so many people have access to. And what so many people know about kettlebells is the few that their gym has, and you do some light swings with it for 20 reps for a conditioning piece, maybe a little leg day finisher. But again, if you're a really strong, really big dude and all you have is a 35-pound kettlebell, it's not really going to happen in terms of building strength and building muscle. You can still do some great exercises with it. You can do some mobility exercises, use it for a conditioning piece, maybe do some higher rep swings, or maybe you're doing some windmills for some mobility. That's still great. You can still use it. But at the end of the day, that kettlebell is not going to necessarily build you that strength in the muscle. But again, as I said before, that has nothing to do with kettlebells specifically. That has to do with the ones that you have access to. If I gave you the kettlebell arsenal that I have, which is kettlebells up to 141 pounds, and you threw those around all day, you'd be one of the strongest dudes out there, and you'd be gaining a ton of muscle. So once again, don't hate on kettlebells and their inability to gain strength and muscle. If you just don't really have access to a ton of them, it has nothing to do with them. It's the same thing as if I gave you a barbell with 10s on each side, so 65-pound barbell, and told you that's all you could use forever. You probably wouldn't really be gaining much, if any, strength or muscle at all. But once again, that has nothing to do with barbells. It just has to do with the weight that you have access to in that made-up scenario that I just had right there. So again, don't hate on kettlebells because the gym that you go to has a shitty selection of kettlebells. Go ahead and grab yourself some heavy kettlebells, do some swings, do some cleans, do some snatches, do some rows and presses, and watch you gain a ton of strength and a ton of muscle. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope it cleared the air on some things that you may or may not have thought about kettlebells' inability to gain strength or muscle. If you are already on my side, then I appreciate that. I hope this just kind of reiterated some points for you. If you are not on my side, I hope this changed your mind. If you know somebody that is not on my side, go ahead and send them this video. They may or may not agree with me. That is totally fine. I like open discussion. I like preaching my ideas. If somebody doesn't agree with me, that is no problem. But maybe this video can help change their mind just a tiny little bit and maybe give them the little extra motivation they need to go do some clean and presses in the corner of their gym if they have a decent sized kettlebell, all right? I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.